Find the coordinates of the ordered pairs shown below. So let's just scroll down a bit and take a look at the coordinate system that we're given and see if we can identify these different ordered pairs. So we have 5 different ordered pairs labeled A, B, C, D, and E, and we want to be able to come up with the coordinates. We want to be able to write that in the form in the parentheses with the comma between, remembering that when I write an ordered pair, the x coordinate comes first and the y coordinate comes second. So we've already done this exercise where where we're given the point and we have to actually put it on the coordinate system. So now we're working that process in reverse. So let's take a look here at point A. This point A, I want to figure out, well, how do I get to this point A? Well, we always think about starting from the origin, and we want to think how far do we go in the x direction and how far do we go in the y direction in order to get to that point. So from the origin, I want to be thinking about this point is kind of coming straight down here. So from the origin, we go over to -2. So in the x direction, we've gone -2. So we can go ahead and put in that -2 as the x coordinate, as that first coordinate. Now, to get up to the point where it actually is, we have to go up. Now we're going in the positive direction. And when I look and I say, well, how far did I go up? I can see, well, there's no number on that line, but if I look at the numbers around it, so there was 2, that must be 3, there's 4, so that must be 5. So the coordinates of that first ordered pair A are -2 and 5. I went -2 in the horizontal direction, and I went 5 in the vertical direction. Let's see what we've got for B. So point B is down here, and we'll do that in green. So how did we get to this point B? We can go ahead and we know we're going to be writing an ordered pair, so we can go ahead and put our parentheses and our comma in place. From the origin, again, we're going in the negative direction, and this time we're going all the way over to -3. So we go -3 in the horizontal or that x direction. And then we say, well, where have we gone in the vertical direction, up or down? Well, we haven't gone anywhere. We're still sitting here on that x-axis. And so since we didn't go up and we didn't go down, we went 0 in the vertical direction. So the ordered pair for that point is going to be -3, 0. For our next point, we have C down here. We'll do that in blue. Once again, going in the negative direction for the x. And notice that we are going over -2 again to get to the C point. Going over -2, but now we turn down. We start going down. I say, well, how far down did I go? If I see, where does that line up here on the x or on the y-axis, on this vertical axis? Well, there's -2 and there's -4, so this must be -3. So that point would be -2, we went in the x direction, and we went -3 in the y, that vertical direction. Okay, let's take a look at D. For point D, that's sitting here on this y-axis. And so when we say, how did we get here? Again, starting from the origin, let's think about where do we go? Remember, x is first, and then we do y. So from the origin, where do we go in the x direction? Where do we go in the horizontal direction to get to this point D, which is up here? And I'm thinking, well, I didn't really go anywhere. I'm going to have to go straight up, but I didn't go left and I didn't go right. I didn't go anywhere in the horizontal direction. So that in that case, my x coordinate must be 0. And the y, well, for the y, we had to go up and we went up to 3. So 0, 3 would be the coordinates for that ordered pair, or for that point right there. Be really careful, these ones that have zeros in them. It's very easy to get these turned around and think about them as being on the axis where they're not. So just keep reminding yourself the first coordinate is where you're going to go in the horizontal. The second coordinate's where you're going to go in the vertical. Okay. The last point that we have is down here. So we're kind of in a different area of the graph, this point E. So to get to point E, starting from the origin, we go over to the right. So now we're moving in the positive direction. So for our x coordinate, for that first coordinate, we've gone over to 5. So we can go ahead and put that 5 in place for where we went in the horizontal direction. And then for the vertical, notice now we're going down. So we're going in the negative direction, and that takes us down to -2. And notice that if we just kind of think about where does that hit, if I were to extend it over onto my y-axis, there it is, it hits right there at -2. So that will give you a good sense of no matter where your points are on your coordinate system, you'll be able to come up with the ordered pairs for them.